This video is designed to complement the art practice lesson plan. This lesson will work best when following the appreciation lesson. The focus for the art practice lesson is to create an appropriated work of John Brack's Collins Street 5 p.m. In the painting, there are several different art elements and meanings. Brack carefully chose colours to suit the mood of the city in the peak hour rush. He used angular lines to create harshness and used repetition in the hats and the windows and the crowd in the background. The meaning was a social comment on the blandness of Melbourne culture in the 50s. Everyone looks the same, there is no individuality, and only Australians of European descent are pictured. In the art practice activity, children need to choose a setting where they would find a crowd and think about appropriate people that they would find in that crowd, and then create an artwork of their setting and the crowd. When John Brack painted Collins Street 5 p.m, he spent months observing and sketching the actual crowd in Collins Street at rush hour. So let's now have a look at some different crowds that you might see. We have a crowd of uni students, a crowd of people getting off the train at peak hour, and a busy shopping centre. After we have a look at that, I'll show you how you can go about making the art with your students. So for this part of the activity, the students need to draw an outline of the chosen setting, and then they need to fill it in with watercolours. For my example, I have chosen to do a typical shopping centre, and so I'm just doing some shop fronts with some clothes in them. And it shouldn't take them too long, it just has to be a simple kind of drawing. This has probably taken me about 5 minutes to get to this stage, so it's just pretty simple and not too much detail because it's going to be covered by a collage. So the next step after this is going to be to find some photos either on the internet or in magazines of people that they would find in their chosen setting. So for this I would probably find people who you would see in a shopping centre, maybe with handbags or something like that, and the children just have to make sure that their photos that they're finding are suitable for their setting. So some of the settings that the kids might choose to look at are something like a football game, a city scene, maybe a theme park like Luna Park, or a train station, anything where they might see crowd, because the idea is to appropriate the work of John Brack in Collins Street 5 p.m, and the main feature of that is the crowd and how appropriate the crowd is to the setting. So for the last part of this activity, we get to put all these happy shoppers into the picture. So while my watercolour painting was drying, I found all these pictures pictures, and I'm just going to collage them in the front of the artwork. So we've still got the setting in the background, and after a little while you'll see why it's not so important to have heaps of detail in the painting, because it will kind of get covered. Now what I've found in my paintings is some shoes, and they're all the same. Now in John Brack's painting, he has hats and windows and the same shapes of people in the crowd as a motif. In this, you can choose something different to use as a motif. It could be helpful, and so I've just used these shoes as a bit of a motif, and I'm putting them in the shoe shop, as that is probably where you would find shoes, in the shopping centre. And basically you just would fill up the painting. It's not looking too busy yet, but you can see that if we put this, they could be a nice happy family. There we go, happy family shopping. Some more shoppers. You fill it up with this, it's starting to look a bit like a crowd. And there you have your appropriated work of John Brack's Collins Street 5 PM. Voila!